DeRozan, Kyle Lowry, both expected to be unrestricted free agents going into this offseason, have interest in going into the Los Angeles Lakers. And for me, how are the Lakers gonna pull both of these players off? It really just does not make sense to me. They do not have the money, but they could definitely get one of these players. That's what I'm gonna say. Maybe Rob can somehow pull this off and make the money work and get both of these players. But I don't. The only reason this could work possibly if it's like a sign and trade. But other than that, I don't see both of them. I just don't see both of them coming to this team. It could happen on another team other than the Los Angeles Lakers where both Kyle Lowry and DeMar DeRozan reunite on a different team. I just don't see it being the Los Angeles Lakers. Now, what if, like I said, Rob somehow pulls out some magnificent deal of some sort and both Kyle Lowry and DeMar DeRozan end up on the Los Angeles Lakers? How is this going to look going into the next season? And I honestly think, obviously, they're going to be a championship contender. LeBron is getting older, but honestly, he's still one of the top three, top five players in the NBA. I know a lot of people are going to be debating that Giannis is the number one. I think Giannis right now is number one, but we'll kind of get a better feel of that going into the next season. And I think LeBron James is going to take his throne, although he is getting older, but he does age like fine wine. So I'm going to be guessing that LeBron James is going to be returning to his normal self. He did have an ankle injury, so maybe the ankle injury was stopping him from becoming what, he usually is in the playoffs, because he did not perform that well in these playoffs, what we expected him to be. Anthony Davis was injured also, so Anthony Davis can also show his potential. Anthony Davis, before this injury and everything, was a top 10, top 5 player in the NBA. So for him coming back into this next season, maybe he can return to that. And if he does, it's looking pretty bright for the Los Angeles Lakers. It's looking like they're going to be ending up into the NBA Finals. And for me, my pick right now is that the Lakers and the Nets will end up in the NBA Finals again. And maybe the Warriors. Maybe you could put the Warriors in that discussion, or the Nuggets. The Nuggets are an up-and-coming young team, and maybe they can make a run into the NBA Finals. But it's really looking good right now for the Los Angeles Lakers, and they have a lot of people that they can get. Like I said, Kyle Lowry, DeMar DeRozan, and they should literally choose one of them. And for me, Kyle Lowry is probably the best fit for this team. DeMar DeRozan, I don't think they're going to be able to get. So maybe they can get like DeMar DeRozan, maybe they can get Kyle Lowry, or maybe someone like CP3. That would be cool. I would love for that to happen. And the Los Angeles Lakers, like I said, they must remain healthy next year if they want to win this championship. Hopefully next year that there isn't that much injuries going into next year, and we have a better feel. And most likely, it's like I said, it's going to be Lakers versus Nets. Who do I have winning that? I honestly have the Lakers winning that, although the Nets, they got Kevin Durant, they got James Harden, they got Kyrie Irving. I'm not buying it. I'm really just not buying. I think it's going to be one of those situations like the Paul Pierce Nets where, they kind of traded away their entire future, and we got all these superstars that are kind of getting older. I'm not going to say it's the same thing, but obviously the Nets team did have injuries, and going into this year, everyone's going to be predicting them to win a championship, just like the Nets with Paul Pierce. And the same thing is going to be happening with that team, and I think that's going to happen. I think the Nets are going to be a really big disappointment next year, and the Los Angeles Lakers will probably win the championship if it's the Lakers versus Nets, and if the Nets even get to the finals. Like, I really think the 76ers, teams like the Celtics, teams like the Bucks can possibly repeat and go into the NBA Finals again. I think teams like that are extremely likely of going into the finals, and maybe even more likely to going to the NBA Finals. I know that's like a really hot take, but that's an extremely hot take. That is an extremely hot take. I am not gonna say that. I take that back. I'm going to say the teams that have a highly likely chance is the Bucks and 76ers. Why do I say that? Joel Embiid, Giannis. Those two players are so good, and I think they can overcome a Nets team. I said it. I think they could overcome a Nets team. So, although I say, I say that the Lakers are probably a lock in the finals, I just don't know about the Nets. I mean, everyone is expecting them, but I feel like these other teams have a really good chance. With that being said, hopefully they can try to get Kyle Lowry or DeMar DeRozan. Kyle Lowry is a very good player, although, you know, I do remember when people said he kind of was a choker or whatnot. I don't really think that's him anymore. He won an NBA championship, so he's kind of like a veteran with playoff experience. And DeMar DeRozan, you know, both good players. So let's really see who the Lakers get. The NBA draft is coming up, so this is going to be interesting to see what the Los Angeles Lakers do and what point guards and whatnot they get. But that's going to wrap things up for this video. Do not forget to like, subscribe, turn on post notifications. With that being said, Josh 3 Arch, and I'm out.